Oh, welcome back to Geekshow Arcade!
Help.
Yes.
Hey,
How's it going, guys?
it's the Geekshow Arcade.
So glad to have
it's
James
great.
here.
Yeah, I'll try to be a
James
little
here?
bit more upbeat than I was the last time I was on the show. I feel like I was so
Well, you were like,
depressed.
well,
You were
also
lying down on a
slumped down
couch.
in your couch, like falling asleep too.
Yeah,
That's a good. Again, the keen powers of observation does not elude.
You were more
Yeah,
couch
fuck.
than man that night.
Yeah, I was. It was not a good position physically, emotionally, mentally. You know, when you play AAA hockey like I do in the major minor leagues, you have to always be on your A game. And I got to say, that night I was not on my A game. And I apologize to my friends. It is not indicative of myself or my beliefs.
All right, thanks, James. Hey, James
Cool
is
that
back.
you guys gave Tony sound effects too. That's real cool.
I think
What do you
saw-
mean
I
gave
think,
me?
I never-
I made
I think
myself.
None of
sound
us
effects.
agreed to this. Everyone
I
hates
know.
it.
I know.
Oh.
I know. There's James's shorts, but it seemed like the camera followed him, and it looked like he was just wearing boxers.
Not
So-
wearing
Oh,
shorts.
those are those.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
the
they're-
camera followed his face. This is my new favorite sound, and then we'll get to the show. Carrie made this noise in Geek Show on Saturday, and I isolated it and made it a spot on my soundboard for it. That's apparently what the old Screen Gems intro sound from the 70s and 80s was.
That doesn't sound like human.
That's so
That's
good.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
He sounds like a meeple.
All right.
on.
This is a Geek Show Arcade where we talk about games and games-related things, you know? That kind
Did you
of fun
practice
stuff.
it and you said it wrong, man?
I didn't
You
practice that
practiced it.
part. That part wasn't practiced.
Natural.
All right. Well, welcome to Geek Show Arcade.
Yes, that's right. You've heard James already. Now let's hear from Owen.
Hey, it's me, Owen. Follow me here. I've just given up on social media.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just doom scroll on Reddit for about 7 hours a day, and basically that's all I'm just on here.
But you haven't given up on your face. That hair is looking good.
Shaved it all down. Got a haircut.
There you go. Hey, we got Jaren over here.
I don't believe in haircuts. My name's
can tell.
Jaren. You can find me at Jaren on Twitter.
Whoa. Jaren on Jaren action.
I know that's what the people really want.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe that'll come later in the episode. Who knows? And we got a host. His name is Tony.
Hey, check me out on the Twitters at QuadTTony or on other Geek Show podcasts. All right. Let's see. Do we have any emails?
No.
No emails.
Uh-uh.
Okay. That's
Thanks a lot,
fine. We
Mom.
got plenty to talk about. We have emails at home. All right, and they're just as good. Let's see. Let's start it off then with some good news. Billy Mitchell's name is still Mud, in case
That's
you were
good.
wondering.
How's that good news?
Well, he
That's such a dingus.
Yeah.
just look at him. He does not look like he would ever be a good guy in any universe, in any multiverse.
It's
I-
so true.
My son said he looks like the bad guy from the third Minions movie. The one that's like, I'm a bad boy.
Well, they sued. I think we talked about this. He sued the regular show for having an episode with a character who was a bad guy that looked just like him. I don't know how that
And
ended.
had a similar
but-
story, right?
Yep,
It have
yep.
a similar. It was his story.
Yep, and it was so funny. All right, so anyway, down to business. The Twin Galaxies, keepers of the records, of the video game records. So they did, as we reported last week, they brought back Billy Mitchell's old scores because someone showed that it's possible for what happened to him to happen on original hardware, arcade hardware, due to deterioration of the electronics inside. However, they... So let me see if I can. They answered the big questions in a brief FAQ to clear up any quote confusion end quote, and this is the verbatim from the FAQ. Is Billy still banned from Twin Galaxies competition? Yes. Are Billy's world records going back onto the main leaderboards? No. Has the opinion of Twin Galaxies changed regarding Billy's Donkey Kong scores? No.
So what changed then? What happened?
All they did was they reinstated his scores in the archives.
Okay.
So yeah, so there you go. And they're actually selling merchandise that like T-shirts.
Twin
and things,
Galaxies is?
Twin Galaxies is
Awesome.
that are poking fun at the ways that it is believed that Billy Mitchell cheated. So right here, their full quote is, Twin Galaxies has no problem acknowledging that there is an expert out there that has a different opinion than the one Twin Galaxies has. Site admins explained, we very much believe that it is important that people are aware of the information, all the information, so they can make their own judgments. If people have questions about what the expert has to say, then they can inquire with that person. On the Twin Galaxy side of things, nothing's changed, except that we are excited to have the old historic database publicly available so people can see what used to be. That's something that TG should always have as a part of its history.
Isn't it? It's interesting that they ban him from ever trying again, because wouldn't you like want to let him prove himself like again? Like,
Would you?
I think there's more backstory to this.
I'm sure there is that we're forgetting all of it.
We've got like they could have somebody come in and be like a proctor to watch him, because the submission for Twin Galaxies Records is pretty easy to. It's a little pretty low bar, right?
Yeah.
Like here's a video of me doing a thing.
And that's the thing. Landon did bring up a valid point last week. Is sometimes you get that record play and you can never repeat it. So they could probably have someone sit there and watch Billy Mitchell play for a week straight, and there's no guarantee that he would actually,
true.
So
it's impossible to police that.
Yeah,
he'd have to submit another home submission of just him playing,
or just
again.
pay for someone that they approve to follow him around for however long it takes to break it again.
Hey, maybe there'll be a Billy Mitchell documentary.
Actually, there is. It's Billy Mitchell and the guy that he was battling back and forth. It's called King of Kong, and it's a great documentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
this
really
was before they found out he was cheating.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That movie,
it is
Pixels. Is that
fantastic.
is Pixels that Adam Sandler game where they have the same thing?
Pixels, yeah.
Good movie.
That was actually not.
It really is a bummer, though. It really goes to show you that on the internet, what did they say in The Dark Knight? You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain.
To see yourself.
But because of the internet, everybody eventually becomes a villain. So what's it going to be?
I mean, I would venture to say it is my opinion that Billy Mitchell was always the villain. If you watch the King of Kong stuff, yeah. But they have some shirts, like I said earlier, that poke fun at the ways that they believe he was cheating, and are very, very pointed. And if you know, it's one of those if you know, and it's like, ooh, nice burn. So there you go. That's the update, and probably the final chapter in the Billy Mitchell Twin Galaxies Donkey Kong Records saga. Let us move on to other things. Now, this is more good news in the dispute territory. Remedy and Take-Two have concluded their lawsuit or something.
It was a big nothing burger.
Yeah.
A Remedy spokesperson, soon after our show last week, they said, "There's nothing to see here. This was a discussion between our teams that was resolved entirely and amicably late last year," before the lawsuit was even filed. "Unfortunately, it took a little longer to complete than we had hoped due to some holiday scheduling. The legal filing was simply an initial formality, and Remedy and Take-Two continue to work together in partnership."
So they had a thing. They filed a thing. Take-Two filed a thing just to get the ball rolling. They solved it amicably before the courts got to it. Then the courts got to it, and they said dismiss it. But the internet picked up on what the courts saw that day.
And I think trademark law is kind of bizarre. You have to keep fighting for your trademark if you want to keep it or something like that.
So you don't get a summary. So
get
a summary judgment or something.
Yeah, this is what I read, and so I'm probably butchering it, but I think it was more procedural than anything.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm glad that to be corrected on my anger at Take-Two. Glad they're not as big of jerks as I thought they were, or at least visibly. Oh, let's see. Move it along to... let's talk about Palworld. All right.
The Curious Case of Palworld.
We got several stories here about Palworld.
Yeah. So it's blown up.
It's crazy. I cannot believe how fast this game has sold.
I've been watching my son playing it.
Unbelievable.
I've been watching him play it. I haven't played it. But
Side note, the other crazy
great.
thing is how many copies it sold, and it's available on Game Pass.
Right. It's sold, I think, over 6 million now on Steam.
Yeah.
It's the most played game on Steam as of this
Which is
moment.
insane.
More than Counter-Strike, so it's like 1.6 million people right now.
Which
It
is like
has
the bar. That's weird. That's the bar. Right? That's the standard on Steam.
it's in the number 2 position for most played game on Steam concurrently ever.
Wow.
Just under of paid games anyway.
This is that.
yeah,
this is
paid
that.
games.
But this is not an unknown phenomenon. We witnessed the same thing Pokemon related when Pokemon Go came out, right? Like
Yeah, but that's an actual licensed game.
Yeah.
this is Pokemon
from
with guns.
Nintendo.
That's what this is called. Is Pokemon
This is
with
Pokemon
guns.
adjacent.
This is called Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon with
Actually,
guns.
it's paid or unpaid or free to play games. It's
Wow.
number 2. Yeah. And everyone seems to like it or hate it. There's been a lot of discourse online from what I've seen. People saying that the developer is using AI to make things, and people get pissed off about that. And the developers come out and said, no, we haven't. If you use AI, you have to disclose it on Steam. Nothing's disclosed there. And then there's other people saying they stole the meshes, or i.e. the character models from Pokemon, and just did minor adjustments to these characters. And that one seems to have more credibility.
Oh
like,
my gosh, there's some side by sides out there that are.
yeah, it's pretty much identical. With you throw in some like ears or hair in different locations, and
That's not a good look.
It's not. But beyond that, everyone
It's
seems
legal,
to be enjoying it.
Well, it's I would say it's a gray area at best.
I don't.
I mean,
is
it's
it
the
legal?
same thing. It's the same
That's
thing with
what I mean,
copyright law.
like,
Just
I-
changing. You just have to change it a certain percentage.
Did they
right?
change it enough? Is the question.
They
And
must
that-
have, because
that-
this is not.
No.
This game didn't drop
it's,
from
Does it
nowhere.
it's plagiarism.
You can't say they must have until Nintendo has
Nintendo?
taken them to court and said,
Yeah.
and the court said yes.
And the
Until
thing
that point, it could be.
well,
And-
Innocent
that's the
until
thing
proven
is that
guilty.
Yeah,
this
basically.
game has been talked about and known though for so long. Like if Nintendo was going to take them to court, they
No,
would have
those
already-
trailers did not signify how the game was at
Yeah.
all.
I think that.
But it had the characters, right? Like this,
some
the
of them, not
Some
all,
of
not
them.
nearly all
enough,
of them, though.
enough to make Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's come after people
well,
for
we know
Mario
where
playing
Owen
the
falls in
background.
the Palworld camp. He's
Yeah.
a lover.
It looks fun. It looks really
Oh, I'm
fun.
sure it is, but you can't steal assets from other video games.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's Pokemon meets Ark Survival Evolved. It's like a base building game, similar to like Valheim and Minecraft and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Something I'm not too jazzed about. I only like base building games if I'm playing them with friends. But it has blown up like crazy. It's kind of buggy too, from what I've heard. The
it
Xbox
is.
version seems to be worse than the Steam version.
Yeah, it's early access too.
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah,
it's not
that's
a
true.
1.0 release.
Yep. And it's only $30, but it is early access.
And the devs have actually said why the Xbox version or the Xbox Game Pass version is buggier than the Steam version, and that's because every time they want to push an update, it has to go through certifications on Microsoft's end for the app and for the Xbox. Whereas with Steam, they can push updates a lot faster.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Steam, though, has servers, whereas Game Pass is just peer-to-peer, I thought, as well.
You've been watching this game, James?
Yeah, maybe.
Anything
No,
Pokemon,
I-
I always go, man, James must be on this.
Well, here's the thing: is it blends two of my favorite genre or like theme, which is Pokemon, and I love the genre of base building. And once I heard that, I'm like, I'm all in. And then I heard slave labor, and then I'm like, oof.
My son has been doing that absolutely.
What
Work
makes me
in the
nervous is that
mines.
it wasn't a like immediate no.
Well,
And I
wait a
was
minute.
like-
Wait a minute. How's that different than your RimWorld stuff?
Shut up. No,
Yeah, Oxygen not
Oxygen
included.
not
I
included.
work
Talking
those,
about
I
this
work
other
those fools
thing.
until they're eating their own vomit.
Because the little fake Pokemon are cute. And that's
Yeah,
why.
exactly. That's the same reason why
Can't do that to Squirtle.
you could show on a movie, you could show a dude being tortured within inches of his life. But if you show a dog getting tortured,
Yeah.
nobody
you
will
shut it
watch your
down.
movie and people
Yeah.
will destroy you. But a human,
Yeah.
As long as
It's
it's an ugly
fine.
human.
as long as it's ugly. What if it's an ugly dog?
there's no such thing.
Chihuahua.
For some reason, ugly dogs still
Pugs.
get a lot of love from people. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
Even more sometimes.
ugly
Yeah, even
dogs are
more.
their own
There's an
kind of
award.
cute for sure.
hmm
This Palworld though just speaks to how dissatisfied everyone is with what Game Freak. What are they called?
Game Freaks, yeah.
Yeah, and how Pokemon just has not evolved over the last couple of decades.
I see what you did
And idea, yeah.
Oh, I get it. Evolution, Pokemon.
Yep. And so
that
like
was-
the first semi high profile game that kind of rips off Pokemon and changes it a bit explodes.
Well, and I think that's a really good point too. Is you look at the games that Game Freaks and Nintendo. I mean, they're developed by Game Freaks, but they're half of the Pokemon name is owned by Nintendo.
Right.
Do they owe
And-
the Poke or the Mon?
I think they own the Mon part.
Because
and-
it stands for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Money, money, money.
And those games really haven't changed since the Game Boy days, except for like Pokemon Arceus, however you want to say
And
it.
is that the one that was janky AF?
No, that was one that it actually worked pretty well for what it was going for. That's the more open world one that came out before the super janky one.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I 100% agree. Game Freaks needs to step up, and they need to change up their stuff,
Expand,
and
right?
Expand, and give the people what they want.
Well, and to go along with that, the other Pokemon type game that's come out in the last decade blew up like crazy too. Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
That
Pokemon
wasn't
Go.
standard Pokemon either.
I would say, well, never mind. That's not Pokemon like, but yeah, Pokemon Go for sure.
Pokemon Go was the opposite of COVID.
And that's, I think, a big reason why it got so big so fast was it was just like, oh, I have a reason to go outside. Yes.
It was nice. Remember, that was good times.
I know that was the height of civilization.
Wholesome, right?
Yeah.
Everything went downhill after
Except for getting trampled when trying to get a specific Pokemon.
there
With
was
every
that.
silver lining. Oh,
There
and I
was-
swear, with every silver lining.
I just
Don't
remember.
That's what I like about you the most.
Yeah.
Don't forget about how some people would congregate on other people's lawns because
Yeah.
there was a Pokestop there and things like
Oh,
that.
dude.
It was okay. You knew what they were doing. It was all good.
Get off my lawn.
Look
Well,
at
I-
each other knowingly and like, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I liked it.
Wow,
It was fun.
quiet.
I don't mind. But yeah, where they put the
right.
Pokestops, that's the thing that bothered me. Is like
It was like they had one up at the Lehigh at that mall there.
Tony
Lehigh.
and I actually ran into each other there playing Pokemon.
At
Fun
outlets, Traverse
at the-
outlets.
Yeah, at the Traverse
Wow.
outlets.
That was a while ago.
Going back to Palworld though, this is
Oh, yes.
Xbox's first semi great exclusive compared to PlayStation.
I would say user base wise, they've had some exclusives though that are quite good, like the Forza games. And
Right. This has a lot of buzz though.
This has a
Yeah.
big splash.
And it's
big
not like it
splash.
won't be on PlayStation. It's just
That's
happens
it.
to be on Xbox first for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
Microsoft didn't even make this game.
Yeah. No. It's not even part of one of their big studios, right?
Yep.
No,
Well, I mean, you
they
could
don't
argue
even
that-
own. They don't own the studio.
No,
Yeah.
you could argue too that Minecraft falls under that because you can play Minecraft on Game Pass and that has huge numbers. So
Yeah.
can you? Yeah, you can play Minecraft on Game Pass. Yeah,
You can play Minecraft on anything. You could play it on a.
Casio calculator.
It's almost reached the Doom status. Will it Minecraft?
It's true. All right, moving along to what did you have to add to that on your article, Owen?
Oh, mine was just the difference. I like Jaron was saying about the characters. It goes to show what you can do if you go to the exact amount of percentage that you have to change.
Oh yeah,
It seems planned. It seems like they put some energy or thought into getting close. Because I mean, if you know Nintendo's history with their IP, they're super active about going after people for their IP, and so I can't see these guys putting this type of money and development into a game, not
unless they felt sure that it wasn't going to get.
not treading that line, knowing that they have a case if somebody
Might-
big like Nintendo comes after them. So
Might be fine. We'll
Yeah.
see. Time will tell.
Do they know what they're doing though? Are they a brand new publisher?
I think they're a new
I think
dev.
there's parts of that. You don't have to be a good game developer to know the legal ins and outs, you know,
or who you shouldn't mess with.
They're a Japanese video game developer based in Tokyo. They founded the company in April 2015.
Okay, they've been around for 8 years.
Yeah.
That's not
Hopefully
bad.
I hope they have good lawyers.
Yeah. That's what I said too. I'm like, hope they know what they're doing. I hope they do know what they're doing because Nintendo is not historically very nice to,
Oh,
you know.
Nintendo's like the Disney of the video game world. It seems like
They
they're very
are.
protective.
oh yeah. All right, let's talk about Halo Infinite. It's not good news though.
This made me sad, Tony.
Yeah, me too. So Halo Infinite, 343 Studios has announced that they are going away from the large battle passes, the 100-tier battle passes, and they are switching to shorter operations passes that they've been doing here and there. They're like 20 level little mini battle passes. And basically they run from 4 to 6 weeks, so you have to get the stuff done within the 4 to 6 weeks. So I think they're kind of trying to push more repeat.
I liked
know.
those though because they were kind of separate from the main battle pass.
Yeah, I like
So
to
you
work
could
on
get
both
every-
at the same
so you-
time.
So you could get everything without having to pay though. Like those ones, the stuff you got from those battle passes, there wasn't like, oh, this, like if I have a regular battle pass, if I don't pay for the battle pass, if I'm just doing the free version playthrough, it's like every third thing I get, I get the award. And those mini battle passes, you would get kind of everything. Because they were normally like a cool armor set or something.
But the problem with that is that points to them, since they're not, that's the end of seasons is basically what it is. Season 5 is the last season, and what that points to is 343 is kind of winding down development on Halo Infinite because they're not going to be putting as much resources into creating new seasons and things like that, which is a bummer to hear because it's finally in a good place.
Right.
Like
It-
over the
I'm
last
having fun.
year, it finally hit its stride, and maybe a year and a half. I've had fun with it the entire time. I'm
Right.
not going to try to lie about that. But over the last year or so, it's really coming to its own. And what they're doing here basically is winding down development on it and putting it in cruise control so that they can work on the next thing, which is weird because Halo Infinite was supposed to be
The end of those type of like,
How can you get
iterative.
bigger
Yeah.
than Infinite?
Infinite
Exactly.
plus one.
yeah.
Technicality.
Remember when Apple was like, this is the Apple X,
Yeah.
the iPhone X, and like, oh crap, is that 10 or is that X or is that okay? Apple 11, iPhone 11.
So that was 10. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
because that was 10. Yeah,
But yeah, so they're what everyone thought. Maybe I think it changed when it didn't do as well as it did. But Halo Infinite multiplayer was going to be just basically like Counter-Strike, where
Yeah.
very long cycles in between a new version of the game, like Counter-Strike Go. How long did that run for? Like 10 years?
Well, have they already done? They haven't done a battle royale yet, have they?
No, they haven't done a battle royale. yet.
How long do you think that takes before they?
Well,
before
I don't
they
know.
Collapse
I think
on that promise. And
I think the battle royale market's really cooled.
yeah,
To tell you the truth. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that they're really diving into.
When's
at
the last
this
time you
point.
played a battle royale, Tony?
Exactly. It's been more than 6 months since I
Yeah.
booted up Warzone.
Yeah, I think.
Oh
like,
no, that's not true. I played some Fortnite with my nephew, and it was actually pretty fun because they have a no build version now. So
I think
they
I think
do.
the big names will continue, like Fortnite
Exactly.
and Apex Legends. But
Yep.
any new entrants, ooh,
That's
that'd be hard.
it's a tough market for sure. So we'll see what happens. It does really seem like though they're gearing up towards a new. And you know what? Honestly, the thing I think is what put the nail in the coffin with Halo Infinite was it was poor reception, but the game engine is very hard to work with apparently, and it was developed in-house, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you develop your own tools, but your own tools really suck.
I
And
made this.
Hey,
made
I've
this-
experienced that at work for the
made
last
this
18
crooked-
years. Okay.
That's a good one. I made this crooked screwdriver that barely works, but we made it, and we have pride in this
Yeah.
tool.
And the other factor is I believe a large majority of the senior devs that built the Slipstream engine have left, and so there's no one there that really super knows the code, is what it sounds like. But they've already basically, I believe we reported on this 6 months ago or so. They're moving to Unreal Engine.
Are they?
So,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is that
Love to
Unreal
see it.
Engine 4 that they're going to move to then?
5's the new
it'll
one.
be 5. Yeah.
Oh, 5. Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to see a Halo game in Unreal Engine 5.
If they could, I mean,
I wouldn't. I don't
I-
like Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal 5, if done right, what's like Unreal Engine 4? If done right, it can be really awesome. But
yeah,
it's
if
really
done right
easy
by the
to
1% of the developers who do it right.
Exactly, it's really easy not to do it right. So hopefully Unreal Engine 5 is better, easier to do correctly than Unreal Engine 4.
The only company that does Unreal Engine right is the Coalition. That's it.
I'd say
don't
Epic
have-
does Unreal Engine right,
No, they only do Fortnite. That they don't count.
and it works great. It scales beautifully. But Coalition is definitely the best example of a third-party company using Unreal Engine.
And they're owned by Microsoft, so maybe if they help,
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
if they help 343, maybe it'd be okay.
Yep. So there you go. We'll see how long Infinite keeps going for. I bet it's got another couple years in it, but there'll be just not very frequent updates as it goes. All right, let's keep the Xbox Microsoft train rolling. We got a really interesting Xbox Developer Direct this last week.
This was awesome. Did you guys watch it?
I did.
I didn't get a chance to. I missed it.
I have
It's
not.
it's in my queue.
Okay.
You should watch it.
Thanks for never mind. I won't be saucy today.
If you could see, oh wait, you can. Owen's face.
Hey,
Go look
I
on
wasn't
YouTube.
being this is
You
what I
did.
get for not being saucy.
You did. You were. We all heard it. We heard you're gonna be. Thanks for
Oh my gosh.
watching the links. Thanks
Working-
Thanks for prepping
Thanks for
for
doing
the
your show prep.
I'll strangle you with this thin headphone cable.
I like to see you try.
Your neck is pretty small.
I have
could
sharp
sell
nails.
tickets.
That's true.
Cut right through them. Anyway, they announced 6 games, 5 games, and it was all pretty cool. I'm excited for 3 out of the 5,
Yeah,
which is
same.
huge.
That's a
Normally
really
it's like-
high percentage.
It is.
you know?
It is. And the other 2 games look high quality. They're just not for me. First one was Avowed. It's launching this fall, 2024. This is made by Obsidian, who made The Outer Worlds, as well as Fallout New Vegas, as well as some other things.
Whole bunch of other RPGs
Yeah.
too. Those are their 2 big first-person RPGs they made, though.
I really liked Outer Worlds. I wish I had time to play it more.
Outer Worlds was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was shorter than I thought it would be, but it was
Fine
all
by me.
quality. So
Yeah. Avowed is a fantasy action RPG, and the world looked pretty cool. You can dual wield magic sticks. What are they called? Wands.
well, we'll just call them magic sticks. That's fine.
Magic sticks, as well as like swords and a bunch of other stuff. And of
And-
course,
Did
go
you
ahead.
see guns? They had guns.
Did they?
There was guns.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like
there were
old style blunderbusses and old
Fancy style.
revolvers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. They showed some gameplay there with dialogue going on. I'm very excited about it, and
Looks really cool.
the fact that it's coming out this year, hopefully,
Hopefully.
maybe we'll see, along with everything else that we're going to talk about. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, they started off pretty strong. Then they went right into Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which launches May 21st. That seems a lot more definite, so I think this will actually happen, and this game's been in development forever.
Oh, you know what? There's an example of a team that knew how to use Unreal Engine really well.
Bullcrap. It stutters like crap on PC.
Does it?
Yes.
No, I've only played it on Xbox. On Xbox, it ran great.
I've played it recently.
Too bad.
Yep.
Maybe this one
anyway,
won't stutter.
Brown upside down.
they still really haven't shown any gameplay for Hellblade 2. It's been a lot of cutscenes and walking and stuff. So I
No,
don't
they
really,
showed a fair amount of gameplay, but it was all not
Walking.
combat.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
walking.
But there wasn't a whole lot of combat in the first one. I mean, there was a decent amount, but it's not an action RPG. That's for sure.
No, it's not. But after how many trailers we've seen, I would like to have seen a little bit more at this point, especially since it's coming out in May.
All right.
But the graphics look stunning for sure.
It really does. The
Very
character
interested in
models
this
and
one,
everything.
despite everything I said. It looks good. It's not going to be a long game. It's going to be at about the same length as the first Hellblade. And it's digital only, $50.
Yeah, interesting choice. A lot.
That'll
Not
be
a
a
lot.
trend. Do you think that'll be a trend?
Well,
It
Remedy
started,
Remedy
yeah.
kicked that off with Alan Wake 2.
Yep, digital only, but it was cheaper.
If you ask me, I think what they should do is you can start it digital only, and then after you've finished updating everything, and if you're going to release DLC, put the DLC out and everything, and then do a boxed version of the complete game.
Yeah.
Give people the option to buy it that way, because I think that would be pretty cool.
Was it you, Jaron, that was like, if you're going to do digital only, they should remove DRM? You know, like...
Yeah, like
Yeah,
especially on
definitely
PC. I think
Yeah.
after like 5 or 7 or 10 years, remove the DRM so that it can be preserved.
Right.
Yep.
And then this was a surprise announcement. They didn't pre-announce this one; it just came in the middle. It's Visions of Mana.
A new Mana game.
Oh, wow. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Square Enix, which typically is a lot more cozy with Sony than Microsoft. So that was interesting.
Yep.
This is their first new mainline entry in the series in over 15 years.
Wow.
RPG, very stylized. It looked good though, if that's your thing.
Yeah, I'm big. I'm big into these games. I like them.
Yeah, I'm
play this
definitely going to keep an eye on it, and I might end up. I mean, you'll be able to play it on Game Pass,
Yeah.
right? So, is it going to be on Game Pass?
I don't think so.
No, they just showed off
No.
a game that's
Yeah.
coming to Xbox, but not on Game Pass. Yeah, it doesn't mention that. But either
Yeah,
way, it looks interesting.
The next one I think James would probably like. It's Ara History Untold. It's coming out in fall 2024. Oh yeah, Visions of Mana was summer 2024. Ara History Untold fall 2024. This is like a Civilization meets real-time strategy from what I could gather from it.
Yeah.
Looks kind of interesting. Like build civilizations, you can choose to go to war if you want, and if you do, it seems a little bit more involved than other like Civ type games on the combat front.
I'm going to look into this. This looks great.
This seems like it's right up your alley, James.
Yeah. This one is PC. Since it's highly mouse focused, it's not going to be an Xbox game. But it's cool that they're giving attention to PC games on an Xbox Developer Direct.
I don't think that they've released a PC only game in quite a while. Flight Simulator was probably the last one they did that, and that
came to
eventually
console.
came to Xbox.
Yeah.
So interesting.
But it will be on PC Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Well,
and
I'm going to get on top of that. That looks awesome.
yeah, it does. If teenage Jaren would have loved that so much, for sure. And then the last one, my favorite, obviously, and I'm sure everyone else's favorite, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Launching 2024. Doesn't get more specific than that, so it's definitely launching in 2025.
It's definitely gonna get pushed.
Yeah. This is made by Machine Games, which is a studio under Bethesda, which, of course, Microsoft owns now. Machine Games, they made the new Wolfenstein games in the last
Great
decade.
games.
Great games, great studio, very exciting. They
Also,
showed...
the games they made before they were called Machine Games, they a lot of them worked at Starbreeze Studios, and they worked on
Riddick,
the Chronicles of Riddick
Yeah.
and the first Darkness game. And those are really good too. So
Yeah. So good developers here making this, and we got a full trailer, so maybe it's further along than we think, and it actually will launch in 2024.
I hope so. That'd be great.
But rather than like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, where it's third person, this is first person indie.
Yep.
it will sometimes zoom out to third person if you're platforming, like climbing up a pipe or jumping along stuff.
Or during cutscenes and everything.
Yeah. But I think it's an interesting choice. It sets it apart from the other games. And it doesn't seem like full-on combat with a gun type of game. You have your whip, you can punch, you can stealth.
It's very reminiscent of Chronicles of Riddick. There was very, very little gunplay in that game. A lot of it was melee combat.
Yeah, and if you look at the
And
movies,
stealth.
that makes sense because Indy only
Exactly.
rarely used guns.
Yep.
The whip mechanics look really fun. You can use it to swing along and platform with. You can whip people, bring them closer to you, so you can punch them out. It looks really, really, what's the word? Slick.
Good.
Slick.
Oh, slick.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Smooth.
Looks
Jared.
really good.
Yes. What else was I going to say about it?
They
forgot.
got Troy Baker doing the voice of
Oh,
Indiana
yeah.
Jones.
He sounds really good.
He sounds quite a bit like him, like surprisingly like him.
Yeah.
And Troy Baker's he's a great voiceover artist in his own right. And so which to me means even if he doesn't nail the voice perfectly, it's still going to sound good and be acted well because
like a good performance.
Yeah, he's most well known for being Joel in The Last of Us.
Yeah. Remember when
And
Peter Dinklage
amazing.
voiced the little helper dude on Destiny?
The Ghost.
The ghost, and how horrible that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
I-
the thing, though.
I-
I don't think that was Peter Dinklage's fault. I think he was directed poorly because he is a very good actor.
No, exactly. He's a great actor. And I think voice acting in a video game is something completely different. So even if we did have Harrison Ford, maybe it wouldn't be that great.
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. So this game slots right between Raiders of the Lost Ark and
Timeline.
Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Those are the only two movies they displayed, so they didn't show any of the less than loved ones.
Well, yeah, they didn't even mention Temple of Doom, but
No, they didn't.
Temple of Doom's a prequel to
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, technically. So, yeah, they should have given some love to. What's the latest one? I liked that one.
Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny.
I've liked them all.
I mean, okay.
You like the Crystal Skull?
I
Oh, yeah,
liked
for sure.
Crystal Skull. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I actually really enjoyed Dial of Destiny, though.
If you guys
I
watched-
thought that was good.
Temple of Doom and then Crystal Skull right next to each other. To me, they're both just as ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're
And so, like Crystal Skull, that still feels like Indiana Jones to me.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
looking
that
forward
was
to
it. That was the developer direct. This was an extremely good showing from Microsoft. They've needed this ever since the Series X came out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these exclusives, these are Microsoft or like Microsoft
Xbox
exclusives.
exclusives, yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
exclusives. Awesome.
I would arguably say they've needed this ever since the Xbox One came out.
Yeah, that's true.
They had lost so much freaking ground with the Xbox One that it's not even funny.
Thanks, Phil Harrison.
Freaking A. There was what was the other thing I was looking at? Oh yeah. That actually goes right into this other article I have. Microsoft is looking to get more into the multi-platform publishing on Sony and Nintendo devices as well. So we kind of, we saw this coming because of the Activision purchase. They already committed to certain games on other platforms for 10 years, like Call of
Right.
Duty and things like that.
So
But
if they have to build that, if they have to build that process anyway,
exactly,
you know,
it's never a bad idea to get your game available to more people. If your number one thing isn't selling hardware, then absolutely you should be going as multi-platform as you can.
Then
think
what's the
that
point of
signals-
selling hardware, though?
yeah. Do you think that signals that there's consoles or maybe?
No, I don't think that signals anything for the hardware because they still want to offer a customer base an easy way to access their games.
yeah.
The platform.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Your average person is going to want a console for sure.
Yeah, but why not choose the competition if all your games are going to be released on the competition?
They never said all of them. They just said they want to be a good publisher on, because here's where the line's going to be drawn is Game Pass. I guarantee you Sony will not allow Game Pass on
Yeah.
On
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
So if you buy an Xbox piece of hardware, you'll get access to Game Pass.
In my opinion, I think there will still be Xbox exclusives,
Yeah.
but like Tony said, like stuff like Call of Duty, maybe other larger games selectively will be on other platforms.
I bet I would be blown away if like the next Doom wasn't multi-platform. That would
Yeah.
be crazy to me because
Do you see people more going around that hardware issue by using like xCloud and stuff, like the web-based, data center?
I don't see that as going around. I still look at that platform as an add-on, good to have, but not a main service.
A lot of people use it though. Like there's
Yeah.
queues now, and with the release of Palworld, the queues have been like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Baldur's Gate was like 3 or 4 hours when it was first hot off the
That
presses.
is insane to me.
Maybe it's really coming into its own finally.
So
Has it improved at all in the last couple of years? Because last time I tried it, it was still janky.
I mean, it depends on what your perception of good gaming is, right? Like
okay.
It is
Yeah.
insane that we have to
you
say
guys
that
have a
out
really
loud.
high, you guys have a really high bar. You guys have a really high bar where some people, like my son, is playing Palworld at the lowest settings, and he is absolutely loving it because he only has a 1080, and so he's playing at low frames or low settings, and he's loving it.
I'll
So,
tell you what, the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally have rekindled a joy in me for tweaking game settings, because Jaron and I spend more money than we should on PC gaming
Hey,
hardware.
don't bring me into this.
don't drag me into this.
You own all the same hardware I do.
No, not.
And so for us, it's basically just crank everything up and go. But there's a certain amount of joy to be found into loading a game up on your Steam Deck and playing with the settings to get the best experience out of it.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy that. It's kind of fun. So
Kinda
Anyway.
or a lotta.
it's
A lotta.
I would say it's somewhere in between kinda and a lotta.
Sometimes I enjoy tweaking settings more than actually playing the game.
Yeah, I will say that the limited amount of time that I had my Steam Deck, that's basically all I did was I would get on it, update all my games,
Yeah, be like,
tweak some settings, and then hop
can
off.
I put a new game on there? Can I play this game on here?
How does this game run?
All right.
I'll spend
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
minutes downloading this game,
Uh-huh.
5 minutes tweaking it, and then
On to the
Well,
next
that
game.
was after the 20 minutes it took to update the 1 terabyte worth of games on my SD card.
Exactly.
Well, and it's because those little gaming ones kind of seem like the one ring, like the one game to play them, the one platform to play them all with, all your emulated games, all your current games. Like
that's why I love it so much. That and the
Yeah.
Ally, yeah.
Very cool stuff. All right, so there you go. Expect to see more Microsoft games, Microsoft published games on other platforms. Okay. What do you have here about spending money on video games, Owen? What's this about?
you guys remember the loot box fiasco?
Oh yeah.
You remember how bad the press that got? I mean, it got all the way. Didn't it get all the way up to the politicians and senators and
It totally changed and sunk Battlefront 2.
Yep.
Well, China, they are not a democracy, so they just said no.
What?
Why not?
They just said no. You can't spend any more money in games. No more loot crates. No more microtransactions. No. And when they did that, they saw the game industry and the game industry economy just tank.
That's how that works when you take
they're
away
like-
people's
'cause they were
ability
like-
to spend money on it.
Because you remember when we did that, we did a deep dive a while ago about how much money microtransactions or in-game purchases really are
Yeah.
making for games. Like we pulled up Candy Crush and those mobile games, but also other games like not Cyberpunk. It was the other one that took forever to come out, but like these where you can buy packs and buy things and so, but they saw that, and even though they are not a democracy, they are still slaves to capitalism,
That's right. They still want
which is
money.
like the monetary thing of democracy, like the monetary version. Of
Well,
democracy,
no,
would you say?
don't conflate capitalism and democracy. Those are two different things.
The will of the people, the will of the dollar, we'll say.
Sure.
But yeah, they have removed quietly the verbiage on their state-run page about the ability to spend and make games that do in-game purchases. So
Wow.
Did they realize they could just tax it and make a lot of money?
Well,
I
there's
don't-
that. Plus, China owns I don't know about a majority, but they own a large stake in every corporation.
Everyone. You
that
have
is
to.
founded in
Yep.
China.
Yep. If that's part of doing business there.
Part of doing business
Right.
there. You know,
They have either a controlling or
or
a
starting
major stake.
business there. Yeah,
Major stake in the company, enough to apply leverage, right?
exactly.
And so, but they didn't say anything about it. They were like,
They just took it out
They
and didn't
just
say
took
anything.
it out and kind of didn't say anything. But the stock market, when the people who know, you see this up and to the left rise in stocks and stuff as that verbiage was removed. So backpedaling there, kind of showing, even with really strict governmental agencies like China has,
They still like money.
the will of the people, the will of the dollar, still runs the engine. So just interesting to see him backpedal on that, especially a strong, like I said, really strong restrictive government like that. So
Well, and apparently this only went in. This was only drafted in last month,
yeah,
so it didn't take long for
no,
them to backpedal.
it tanked. I think they said it tanked 3%. They have the numbers here. They say how much it rose after they removed 10 cent rose 3.7%, and NetEase, which is another one of their gaming, I guess, companies.
Those are big companies.
yeah, it's got a 6% boost over that, but it doesn't look like they show what the initial drop was. Just that when that was put in place, the market shuddered a little bit there,
And the wide-ranging aspect of this verbiage was pretty interesting because it explains a little bit about what it would do. It imposed spending limits on video game platforms.
right.
It prohibited minors from tipping video game live streamers. And it also would have barred companies from offering rewards for frequent logins. You know how log in every day and get a bonus?
Yeah.
Couldn't do that.
Hate that.
Broadly, and it broadly prohibited any content that could endanger national security.
That's pretty broad.
Well, yeah.
right?
What does
I
that
think
even
that has
mean?
That's just
you
a
know?
wide.
That,
That's just a wide stroke. Where they're like anything we say.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
their and anything else we want clause.
Yep.
If anybody goes on arms and leaks a tank again, I
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right. Well, very, very interesting stuff. Okay, let's hit on this last topic, and we'll call it a day. Disney showed off some just wild VR treadmill stuff, tech.
Click on this link, guys. It's queued up right where it needs to be.
It doesn't make any sense in my
Yes.
brain when I watch it work.
What it is, it looks like it doesn't actually move like a treadmill. It's like these little circles all stuck together on the ground that tilt in different
Pivot,
directions.
I see. So it's using.
But somehow
love it.
that movement makes it so wherever direction you go, it will bring you back to the middle.
So crazy.
Imagine prisons someday where it's all just open, but they're on these mats that keep
You're
them
not
there.
getting out of here.
So they have to constantly, like Sisyphus. They have to sit
Yeah.
like Sisyphus. They just have to constantly try and walk away from the middle.
It's like
It doesn't matter how hard you jump, your
Yeah.
thighs just collapse in on themselves, and then you just face plant it, and then it scoots you right back to the middle.
Right to the
They
middle.
put someone in there. He's like, "Don't you need to handcuff me or something?" Nah.
No.
Now go ahead and try to leave.
Everybody gives. Everybody gives
science
up.
fiction
Everybody
thing.
gives up and goes to the middle eventually.
Yep.
Dude, that's gonna be a saying. It's all leads back to the middle. Somebody
And
write that as a sci-fi.
Do it, Owen. So in this example on the video, they have two people in like this 5 feet circular area, both on this thing, They don't run into each other. They just keep walking, and they stay exactly where they are the entire time.
And they're not wearing special shoes or anything.
Right. And they turn. They're still right in the middle. They go backwards. They're still in the middle. They walk. They're still in the middle. I have no idea how this works.
And it
So-
showed him sitting on a bench and then being controlled from the
That's-
outside.
Yes.
That's so,
So
reverse.
cool.
So in reverse, you can manipulate
You can
objects
push
placed
things
on
around.
Yeah.
That
So
was the part, like,
using motion controls.
walking on it blew my mind.
Yeah,
and
just
then,
that. We're
and
like
then
Ready Player One. Right
they
there.
did the thing where it looks like they're using, force powers to move things and people around on this floor, and that's when what was left of my mind got crushed. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're just
what
like,
in
"Huh?"
the world is going on here?
like when you watch it, your brain just is like, I don't know how this works. This looks like magic.
It
Yeah.
does.
It's
It
uncanny
looks like
valley in real life.
it looks like special effects. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they're just showing off some movie special effect. No, that's actually what the floor is doing to those objects and people.
Right. I instantly want one of these for my basement for
Could you-
VR.
could
You know
you
how
imagine?
amazing that
Oh.
would be?
I just
It would be
my
so
whole
cool.
floor is this.
So
I'm
you
just
don't
gonna
have to
float.
move.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
float across the floor. Drop my. I need my backpack or something. I'm just like, come to me, like force powers.
Yep.
This
You don't
would
say
be
go to room anymore. It's just take
No,
him to
I
his
just
room.
send my kid to my room, and I'm just like, Alexa, send my kid to my room.
this has so many different applications though, like an underdesk treadmill. It'd be
Oh, yeah.
super easy. It'd be right there. Like,
Nobody will be late for meetings anymore
yeah,
because it'll
yeah.
just zip them straight to the meeting room. Hold
bring
on.
'em
The
right in.
perfect sound for this is the carry sound effect going and coming places.
Oh, the what?
This is your cue.
Yeah.
Tony.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the
carry.
sound effect that Carrie
Yeah,
made.
so it's like, oh shoot, I'm almost late for the meeting.
Nailed it.
There we go. Oh, and the weird
So
thing
perfect.
is, this was just in a random Disney Imagineer Makes History video, Disney Parks on
Yeah.
YouTube.
It wasn't even like a big featurette on this item.
Right, you're right. I mean, the video is cool that this guy won like a inventor award, second guy in the history of the Disney company to win it
Yeah.
outside of Walt Disney. So that's cool. But they ended with this mind-blowing thing, and they didn't say anything else about it. Like,
Imagine
is
if
it
this
going
is-
to market? How are
Imagine
they
if
going to
this
use
is-
it?
Imagine if this is the new Epcot floor. You know, the world of the future, like Tomorrowland,
That
and they just
moves
move
you
you
along.
around, and you just
Oh.
choose. You choose the course you want to take. You're like, I want to do this, and then it just moves you through the Epcot Center or whatever, through the floors, to the different things. It's blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, but that's the equivalent of in the announcements them being like,
It's-
okay,
it's-
yeah, we invented, porridge, which is, great. We found out that if you mix red and yellow together, it makes orange. We invented electricity and, a couple other things. Sorry, what? Electricity? What is that? Are you
Yeah.
serious? Why?
It's like this is like an omnidirectional moving sidewalk, like escalator.
So
Yeah.
you think about it in public places, though. Think of what would happen though if it got hacked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People
Think
just
of how-
running into each other.
Exactly how nefariously.
Wait
it
till
could be
somebody
used.
spills
And if
a
you
bag
fall
of rice
down,
in
you're
it.
still running into each other.
Everybody just ends up back at the center.
Back
at
the
Yeah.
center.
This is the same guy that invented the real life retractable lightsaber that they use in the Disney parks.
Oh man.
We need to make this guy president.
Seriously. Very cool stuff. All right. Well, that is the end of today's episode. But before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. That's right. It's changed.
It's changed.
Nothing inside the website has changed yet, but our link has
the
changed.
You guys are getting paid?
We'll update that stuff as well soon. But patreon.com/helpdeskarcade if you feel like donating to the show. And if you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has for us right now.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Wiffleball Tony. Thank you guys. Charlie Holmes, Dr. Eggman, Andy Bird, Be the 8-Year-Old, Travis Johnson by Geekshow Arcade Help Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills. Landon FTW. I can't say that seriously. No Name, No Color, Keslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, ONS Tech Cred +1, Matt Nelson, Harry Patch, Josh D,
What now?
Harry Patch.
What was the last one?
Yeah, Harry Patch, followed
Okay.
by Josh D. Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd. I don't drive faster than I can see. Ryan M. and Adam Hecht. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
All right.
Especially Harry Patch.
Yes, thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are awesome. Okay, well, we will see you next week. Until then, Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.